Ready? Good morning, Rabotai, Shavua Tov Mevorach, Tizku Leshanim Rabot to everybody, Beruchim Abaim to the Kahal Kadosh, especially for those that arrived to start spending the Pesach holiday with us. Today is Monday, the 10th day of Nisan, corresponding to April 15th, 2019, tax day, which I'll talk about it in a minute. The Lighthouse Torah Project, live video feed, sponsored לעילוי נשמת דבורה פייגה בת שמואל and רפואה שלמה to Ora Devora bat Rivka. The iTorah live audio recording לרפואה שלמה דוד מנחם בן דבורה לאה and שידוך for נחמדינה bat Hana Batya. Before I start the class, tonight, in combination with the Ask the Rabbi program and the Ladies Midrashah program, the Lighthouse Torah Project and iTorah.com will be recording tonight's class. The Lighthouse will be a live video feed, and the iTorah will be an audio file to be sent afterwards. So therefore, I'm going to put this on the screen. I will be receiving questions to be shared with the Kahal Kadosh tonight. The email address is rabbi@ejsfl.com. Although I have been getting many questions, one interesting question came in yesterday, and the question is, Rabbi, my accountant did not file the taxes yet. What do I do with him? I asked him, is this Pesach related? I says, yes, I want to celebrate Pesach knowing that my accountant filed the taxes. So obviously what I'm saying is, the questions that we encourage you to send these days and will be giving Be'ezat Hashem, priority will be items related to Pesach, and Be'ezat Hashem, may God guide us to be able to give the proper and the appropriate answer to each person accordingly. I will tell you that we do know for a fact that we have a large audience, and some of them follow the Sephardic tradition, some of them follow the Ashkenazic tradition. So some of my replies will be, check with your local Orthodox rabbi. Perhaps there are certain traditions which I may not be very familiar with, and therefore I don't want to, God forbid, misguide the person Leshem Shamayim. So therefore, I will filter the questions, and Be'ezat Hashem will try to answer everything accordingly. So tonight, for the physical audience that is here, we're going to make an exception. And for the Ladies Midrashah program, we are going to be welcoming men as well. So this way, everybody can ask the questions, and Be'ezat Hashem will have a meaningful and a happy holiday. A reminder that today will be the last Hames breakfast in our synagogue. So enjoy the Hames today, because in a few minutes we're going to start cleaning everything, and God willing, the next few days will be a kasher le-Pesach, light, friendly type of breakfast. Okay, that means that it's going to be light. That's whatever that means. Okay. As I said yesterday, today, I'd like to start discussing very fascinating messages about the Seder of Pesach. Because at the end of the day, to have Seder in a person's life, to have order in our life, it's a mandatory requirement for anything that you would like to do in your life. You want to become a Talmid Chacham, you need order. You want to have Yirat Shamayim, you need discipline, you need order. You want to work, you need order. You want to be a teacher, you need order. Basically, we all know that order in life, it makes our life happier, more meaningful, and with a focus. So Be'ezat Hashem, today we'll try to concentrate not so much on the halachic parameters and requirements of the Seder, but what is the message of the Seder of Pesach. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Shehakol Nihiya Bidbaro. So the Seder of Pesach to begin with, and I will, moving back and forth, perhaps to the Pesach guide that many of you already received via email, via WhatsApp, or picked it up from the lobby, has a lot of information relevant to the celebration of Pesach. If you look at page 8, explains the basic components of the main mitzvot of the holiday, Pesach, Masa, Maror. Then we have a design on the setup of the tray, which this is what the Sephardic tradition follows based on the rulings of Rabbeinu Ha'ari. On page 9, we begin the halachic concept of how to do the Seder of Pesach. So I'm not going to go over whatever it's written today. I'm going to discuss about whatever is not written in this guide, Be'ezat Hashem. The information of the guide, plus what I'm going to be sharing with you, will definitely enhance our Pesach. This past Shabbat HaGadol, we touched on the surface of this particular topic on the Seder of Pesach. So I have a couple of printouts that enable us and enables me as well to go on the proper step-by-step do-it-at-home Seder. And is important because at the end of the day, as I said before, Seder in life, it's something very essential that helps the person to have guides, to have a GPS for life, and to really concentrate on the priorities of life. So I'd like to begin with the following statement. In the night of Pesach, I cannot promise you that we're going to cover 15 today, but Be'ezat Hashem, at least we're going to start. Anyways, Pesach is not going to be here till Friday night. I can split it half and half, time allowing, and hopefully in 2 days we should be able to cover the messages of Pesach. Now, we have 15 steps in the Seder of Pesach. Some of them are active, meaning to say some of them require a physical action, and some of them do not. But at the end of the day, we have 15 steps. Our rabbis tell us that these 15 steps of the Seder represents the 15 steps going into the Bet HaMikdash. If you open the book of Tehillim, find out how many Shira Ma'alot you have 15. So our rabbis tell us that every step of the Seder of Pesach comes to one more step prior to entering into the Bet HaMikdash. And I think that I have a picture. Okay, the picture is covered, but basically, if you look at the Bet HaMikdash from this Haggadah, which I really love and like, and here you have 15 steps. This is the Azara, the ground, and then you have 15 steps. So each step of the Seder of Pesach represents a Shir HaMa'alot, one song of ascents, which basically gets us closer to the Bet HaMikdash. And that's the reason why, if you think for a moment, the first step of the Seder is called Kadesh. This was copied and reprinted from Rabbi Mansour's Sephardic Haggadah that I mentioned yesterday. I did not bring it because it's too many books in front of me, but I only took what's relevant for today's class. And if you don't have it, I encourage you to spend a few dollars and to buy it because really has fascinating information. So the first step of the Seder is Kadesh. Kadesh means to sanctify ourselves. Although whenever I said the word Kadesh, the first thing that comes to our mind is the topic of Kiddush, sanctifying the holiday. But also Kadesh has to do with marriage, the sanctity that a Jew observes and feels and develops through the sanctity of marriage. Now, this particular step of the Seder, it's all about the concept of Teshuvah. What does it mean? Our rabbis tell us, Kadesh asmecha belimud Torah, sanctify yourself with Torah learning in order for you to achieve holiness. And this is not a new topic. We all agree that the only thing in life that helps the person change, self-improvement, rehabilitate themselves from the spiritual shortcomings or hiccups that we have in our life is through Torah learning. We're not minimizing mitzvot. We're not minimizing prayer. We're not minimizing charity. We're not minimizing hesed. But one thing is for sure. Torah is the required formula for the person to become a better person and to become a holy person. Because at the end of the day, the Torah is also Kodesh. The Torah is also Kedusha. What is the next step after Kadesh? The halakha says, Urhas, the washing of our hands. Our rabbis tell us that the washing of our hands means teshuvah. What does it mean? What does it mean? The washing of the neshama means to do teshuvah. But how can a person do teshuvah? Only through Torah learning. If a person doesn't learn Torah, how can the person truly do teshuvah? You want to know what I need to change. I want to know what do I need to improve. Guess what? If I don't learn Torah, how will I become able to say and to become a better person? So then we have karpas yahas. Karpas means the celery, right? The halakha says when it comes to celery, I'm going to take advantage of what I'm saying now. It may take me double the time. It will take me double the time, but I would like to review halachic concept as well. What is basically the concept of Kadesh? We make Kiddush. It's important to know that part of the mitzvah of the Seder of Pesach, besides the drinking and the manishtana and the misharotam and the sandwich, etc., there are certain takanot established by our hachamim, the mitzvah of Hesev. Mitzvah of Hesev literally means what? To recline for the Seder of Pesach. So I apologize in advance. I'm going to go back one step to understand basically one thing that is going to be happening. In the night of the Seder of Pesach, and bear with me a moment, I saw this last night. I said I'm not going to keep it to myself. I'm going to share it with the Kahal Kadosh. Bear with me a minute. Now, okay, in the night of Pesach, how many mitzvot do we fulfill? Throw me a number. Not enough. No, relax. Too much. So if 14 is not enough, it means that we do more than that. According to the list that is in front of me, in the night of Pesach, we fulfill approximately 20 mitzvot. Can you imagine? I'm going to go quickly. And I apologize to the video audience and to the audio file, because I'm jumping. That's why you need to have Seder. Now you understand why you need to have Seder? Okay? But this is all about the Seder, so it blends in. Mitzvah number 1. I'm going to read them. So this way we know. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back. I was Tehran. Good? Dubai also? Beautiful. Baruch haba. Thank God. I'm not going to identify yourself in the video, so stay where you are. No, he went to Tehran recently. He's giving us updates of how thriving the Jewish community is there. Thriving. Minyan every day. Nets. Yeshivot. Kolelim. Shechita. Correct? Talmud Torah. Hilulot. I listened the other day to a shiur of the Rosh Kolel from Tehran. I understood half what he said. I understood only the Hebrew words. Fascinating. Fascinating. Mitzvah number 1. Sanctifying the Yom Tov. Kiddush. Kop number 1. Mitzvah number 2. The washing for the karpas. Mitzvah number 3. Eating the karpas. Mitzvah from the Torah. Haggadah. Mitzvah number 5. Second cup of Kiddush. Meaning to say, in the first half of the Haggadah. Mitzvah number 6. Washing our hands to say, to eat the Masah. Mitzvah number 7. Beracha al netilat yadayim. Mitzvah number 8. Beracha hamotzi in the night of the Seder. Mitzvah number 9. mitzvah of eating matzah, the beracha. Remember, this is from the Torah, eating matzah. That's the next mitzvah, positive commandment of the Torah to eat matzah. Mitzvah of hachamim, the dipping of the maror in the haroset to remember the clay that our forefathers needed to do in Egypt. Mitzvah number 12, eating maror. Mitzvah number 13, eating maror to remember the bitterness. Mitzvah number 14, the established tradition of Hillel, the sandwich, masa, maror, and haroset. Mitzvah 15, from the Torah, besamachta vehagecha, that a person celebrates the holiday with happiness and joy, with meat, wine, etc. Mitzvah of eating afikomam has a reminder of the Korban Pesach. Mitzvah 17, Maim Aharonim. Mitzvah 18, Birkat HaMazon, and including the third cup of wine of the Seder. And Mitzvah 19, the reading of the Hallel and drinking the fourth cup of wine. Look, in a minute, I gave you 20 mitzvot. This is what we need to have in mind in the Seder of Pesach. I know that may be difficult for us to remember these 20 things by heart. But Baruch Hashem, I look around the crowd, and I'm sure that everyone has been doing Pesach for many years. So what is this telling us? Just put your mind. I'm about to eat matzah, mitzvah. I'm about to drink the wine, mitzvah. I'm about to eat the maror, mitzvah. I'm about to eat the meat with the wine, mitzvah. I'm about to do my maharonim, mitzvah. I'm about to sing the Hallel, mitzvah. I'm about to say, Ma nishtana halayla ze, mitzvah. Birkat HaMazon, mitzvah mideoraita. Mitzvah from the Torah. It's not a joke. Mitzvah from the Torah. Masa and Birkat HaMazon are the only two mitzvot of the Torah related to food. All the other blessings that we say are established by our Hachamim. The same Hachamim who established drinking the 4 cups of wine. And that's why our rabbis also add one more concept, the concept of Hesev, the concept of reclining, as I said on Shabbat, right? Thank you, I'm getting there. Seder. First I have to drink, and then you recline. When we recline, the halakha says, which by the way, ladies also need to recline, and ladies also need to drink the 4 cups of wine or grape juice, and they also must eat the matzah in the night of Pesach, and they must do the sandwich, etc. So these are mitzvot that although they have a specific time frame, the fact that the ladies also were part of the decree of slavery, and the ladies also suffered the consequences of hardship and labor in Egypt, but also the ladies, like it or not, were the reason that we merited the exodus of Egypt. The Gemara says openly that in the merit of the Jewish women, Bnei Israel were redeemed. Why? Because the Jewish ladies had a tremendous amount of emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, more than the men. More than the men. I know men don't like this, but this is the Torah statement. Reason number 1, when we see that Paro makes a decree, correct, against the Jewish boys, and the men decided not to be with their wives, and the wife says, we need to do what we need to do, and let God take care of us. That's miracle number 1. And that's why the Pasuk says, the Jewish people multiplied 6 babies at a time. 6 babies at a time. Where this zechut came from? From the Jewish wife that ignored the decree of Paro, as we say in Shir HaShirim, chapter number 8, on a Friday night. תחת התפוח עוררתיך, שמה חיבלתך אמך, שמה חיבלה ילדתך. What is that? Under the apple tree you were born. This refers to the Jewish wives. That the Egyptians calculated when the Jewish women will give birth approximately, and they track it down. When they went to their homes, where is your wife? No, she went to the fields. They went to the fields for what purpose? To give birth. And these babies survived. How they survived? Borei Olam sent malachim to take care of them. And the Egyptians, the Midrash tells us, they will follow the sound of the babies. They will follow the sound of the babies, and Hashem made a miracle. that the earth opened up and the babies were swallowed. But the Egyptians are listening to the sound. So what do? They took the sword, they took the spear, they stabbed the ground. And the deeper the sword went, the deeper the babies went, until these babies were ejected back after they left. And eventually, they reunited themselves to the parents. When it came to Kiryat Yamsuf, as the Pasuk says, Ze keli ve'anvehu, Eloke avi va'aro memenhu. In that Pasuk, the Torah tells us about the reunification of the babies that were in the fields, united themselves with the parents as we were leaving Egypt in the 7th day of Pesach. That's why also Shir HaShirim says, Devash behalav tahad leshonech. Hashem made a miracle, and from the apple tree, tahat tapuach, under the apple tree, there were 2 miracles. Devash behalav. One side of the tree released milk, one side of the tree released honey. These are miracles. You see, to us sounds like a mega miracle. But when you're in Egypt and you see the Makot, and you see the splitting of the Red Sea, and you see the man, and you see the babies, and you see 6 babies at a time, all healthy and happy, you know, it's a common miracle. For us, it's a mega miracle. Anyways, so in a few minutes, no, I shouldn't say a few minutes, I'll be honest, but in a few hours of the Seder of Pesach, we are able to fulfill like once a year mitzvah, with exception of Birkat Hamazon, Mayim Aharonim, Kiddush, that we do on a regular basis. Most of the mitzvot are once a year mitzvah. We are lucky that we live in exile outside of Israel, so we get to do it 2 times. But that's it. So we need to grab the opportunity that we have in the Seder of Pesach. Now, in the Seder of Pesach also, we have the Ke'ara. In the order of the Ke'ara, interesting enough, these are a couple of Hiddushim that I got also from this Haggadah, Ma'alin B'Kedusha, New Haggadah, that discusses how Pesach and Sukkot are connected. Although they are part of Shalosh Regalim, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, but here he says something very interesting. We know that in Sukkot, we have the Ushpizin, the 7 spiritual guests, thank you, that come and visit us for Sukkot. And we hold 7 items in our hands. The Lulav, the Etrog, the Hadas, 3 Hadassim, that's 5 already, and 2 Aravot, 7. How many items we have in the Seder of Pesach? Also 7. We have the 3 Matzot, 1, Zeroa, Besa, Maror, Haroset, Karpas, Hazeret. 7 different items, which actually they are 10 items. Now, when I said to you 10, what is one of the first things that comes to your mind? The 10 Sefirot. The 10 sparks of godliness that happen how the world functions. The 3 Matzot, Kabbalistically speaking now, represent Chokhmah, Binah, Da'at. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And according to Rabbeinu Ha'ari, we have a diagram of how we set up the Ke'ara of Pesach. Can you see it? You see it? So let's do this in English now. Got to keep all the customers happy. Professor. You see it? Number 1, the Zeroa. 2, the egg. 3, the Maror. 4th, Haroset. 5, Karpas. 6, Hazeret. Those are 6 items. Plus the Masa, 7. 7 items. So Kabbalistically, every one of these items connects to one item of the day of Sukkot. But you ready for the next statement? I'll tell you quickly that the numerical value of the pasuk from the Torah that says Peri es hadar, etrog, kapot temarim, lulav, anaf etz avot, hadasim, arbe nahal, arabot, is the same numerical value, masot, zeroa, besa, maror, karpas, haroset, hazeret. Same value. It goes even further. Like each one of these items, for example, you have Abraham, Ishaq, and Yaakov, Hadasim. Moshe and Aharon, Lulav and Etrog. Yosef and David, the Arabot. Each item of the Ke'ara connects to a different Sadiq. I'm sorry that I'm covering my face, but I want you to follow the tray as I'm talking, okay? You know how I look like. Anyways, let's go quickly. So the Kaf HaHaim explains, the Ushpizin are represented also in the Ke'ara. Moshe is the Zeroa, the shank. Aharon is the Betzah. That's what the Kaf HaHaim says. The Ben Ish Hai explains Yosef is the Karpas. Maror is Avraham Avinu. Hazeret Ishaq, and Yaakov Haroset. Why Yaakov is Haroset? Because how do you make Haroset? You need a lot of ingredients. You need dates, right? Nuts, cinnamon. Some people do with wine. Ashkenazim, I think they do with apple. So irrelevant of the formula that you follow, you cannot... We'll see soon. Now, irrelevant of which formula do we use at home, how do we make the haroset? With a lot of ingredients. So was Yaakov Avinu. Every son, a different type of person. Every son represented something else. Now, and it says that what's the beauty of the haroset? It says that the sweet taste of the haroset removes the bitterness of the maror and hazeret. Who is maror and who is hazeret? Maror is Ishmael and hazeret is Esav. The both of them represented bitterness to Am Israel. So comes Yaakov Avinu with the 12 Shevatim, and only then Yaakov Avinu was the one from Abotenu HaKedoshim that were able to have the power to overcome Esav and to overcome Ishmael. And that's why when it comes to the Masot, we have 3 Matzot in the night of Pesach. Why do we put 3 Masot in the Seder? So a short answer is many answers. Kohen Levi Israel, Torah Nevi'im Ketubim, Moshe Aharon Miriam, Chokhmah Binah Da'at. You understand? Abraham, Ishaq, and Yaakov. So the number 3 means a lot. But you know what also means? Fascinating concept. That the concept of Masot represents David HaMelech. Why? Because the Masot are the star of the Ke'ara. Meaning to say, the Masa is the king of Pesach. You don't need to have Masa and wine and Haroset in order to fulfill the Masa mitzvah of Matzah. Each mitzvah is separately. Therefore, God forbid, someone, Haz v'shalom, only has Masa in Pesach. You still need to do the Seder. Maybe you don't have the Haroset, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to do the Seder. So we understand that Matzah represents the essence of David HaMelech, alav shalom. This is something very deep, very Kabbalistic aspect, and I hope that I was clear, quoting from the different sources that are giving us the information of what does it mean, the Seder of Pesach. Also, we discussed before the concept of reclining, correct? Now, why do we recline? Short answer, we recline in order to experience a certain sense of kingdom. But listen, and actually there is a source in the Torah. The Pasuk says, Vayasev ha'am, which in English means the nation traveled. Vayasev also means the leaning. The leaning in the night of Pesach. Also, we have a miracle that happened in the first night of Pesach, in the time of Hiskiyahu HaMelech. Hiskiyahu HaMelech was a king, potential Mashiach to the Jewish people. In English, leaning has a lot of meanings. I lean to my left, I lean on you, or I lean on Hashem. So Hiskiyahu leaned on Hashem that night when he saw the threat that Sanherib and his army wanted to destroy the Jewish people. And what did he say? I'm not a warrior like David HaMelech, my great-grandfather. I don't have the wisdom of Shlomo, but I have a Kadosh Baruch Hu. God, I'm leaning on you. Take care of the headache. He went to sleep, and overnight, 185,000 enemies of Sanherib were killed overnight. No weapons, no poison. Was a godly missile without physical damages. You know what our rabbis tell us? You ready for this? First of all, we know that the leaning is towards the left, correct? Because the foot pipe is on the left. And we don't want to create, God forbid, a situation of danger if a person leans towards the right, because the gravity will cause the food and the fluid to go, God forbid, through the to the windpipe. So therefore, we need to eat towards the left, towards the foot pipe. But here is a fascinating hidush, and it says that a person who reclines on the night of Pesach remove negative decrees from their life. Can you imagine? Because you're leaning on God. And once you lean on God, all your problems disappear. Don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your problems how big God is. Do you understand the difference? So the night of Pesach, as I said last week, get rid of all your headaches. You should get rid of your headaches Friday morning. You should start from now. I'm making my list already, not to worry. I'm running out of paper. Chas v'shalom. I shouldn't complain. Anyways, but every night when we eat, because the night of Pesach is the night of freedom. You don't eat like you eat Pesach, like you eat any other day of the week. The night of Pesach carries a certain level of holiness, a certain level of godliness, as the Zohar says, that in the night of Pesach, Hashem comes down with the Malachim to listen how the people are observing the Seder and are singing the Seder and are talking about the Seder. That's why a person needs to be very careful the night of Pesach, that the table of Pesach doesn't carry things which are not suitable for the sanctity of the table of Pesach. Because Hashem is with us in a much more revealed fashion in the night of Pesach, like it happens any other day of the year. Obviously, we don't see Hashem, but just the mere fact that the Zohar says God comes down to listen, dayenu for us. So, as I said the other day, this Friday morning, we're going to burn the Hametz. You're going to burn the Lulav. If you kept it from Sukkot, if you have it, bring it to burn to the main centralized location in Aventura, Chabad North. But also remember what we learned. Write in a small piece of paper code words that only you and Hashem knows. Challenges and situations in life. whatever that may be. Some people could be health, some people could be shidduchim, some people to have children, some people to have shalom bayit, some people to live more of a happy and content life, some people to minimize drama, anxiety, bitterness, anger, whatever situation a person has, and it's fine to have situations. Don't feel embarrassed. Nobody needs to know about them. This is between you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And have this in mind, what I'm going to say now. Like you are burning the Hametz, like we are removing the Yetzer Hara, we also want to get rid of all our headaches. Try it, and you'll see great miracles in your life. Now, I'm trying to see. Okay. I have the page folded, means that I stop here today. Tomorrow is very heavy. We'll save it for tomorrow. Heavy in a good way, in a beautiful way. In a beautiful way. This is too deep to share it publicly. You need a blackboard with a digital PowerPoint. It's not me today. I left you hanging before. I started with the Seder, and then I took a detour. So Be'ezat Hashem, tomorrow I make a U-turn, God willing. And if you come tonight, I probably, time allowing, I may go through the Seder. But I want you to know the following. Every step of the Seder, how simple it may appear to be, it carries a fantastic message in a person's life. One of them, I told you this on the other day, the topic of motzi matzah. Remove all negative things from life. Quarreling, strife, argument, upsetness. The night of Pesach is a night of miracles. Even though it's a long night, and Pesach Seder you cannot really start till the holiday actually starts. That's why there is no early Seder in Pesach. You have to do it in a timely manner. Is a night, the only night of the year that we say Hallel in the synagogue with Beracha complete. Which, by the way, ladies also need to recite Hallel in the night of Pesach. Sure, the Halacha brings it down clearly. Because they also were benefiting from the miracles of Pesach. And even though we have a tradition that many mitzvot that have time frame, ladies are exempt, Pesach is one of the exceptions. Like Megillat Esther. A woman, a lady, is also obligated to listen to the Megillah. Not because Esther wrote the Megillah, but because the miracle benefited them as well. Hanukkah, the same way. You know how many decrees were against the ladies in the time of Haman? Hanukkah and Pesach. I'll tell you one. In Egypt, they used to give the wife to do the husband's jobs and the husband to do the wife's work. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine you're in charge of the kitchen in your house? Your wife will tell you, go to the synagogue, spend time with the rabbi, don't come, don't drive me crazy. Or you tell, okay, you go and you build the wall. This was the atrocities that the Egyptians injected into the mind of a Jew. Somebody sent me a question last night, asking his great-grandson, asked him a question, how young were the children when the slavery took place in Egypt? At what age a young child will become an official slave? So although we do not have a precise answer to say, okay, you turn 10, you become a slave. There are two types of slavery. The physical slavery and the emotional slavery. When a person, God forbid, is born into a slave's mentality, like it happened in Egypt, obviously it has a direct effect on the children. it has a direct effect on the marriage. And that's why in the night of Pesach, at the end of the Manishtana, right? What do we, at Mehila, at the end of the Halahmania, right? What do we say? Halahmania diachalu abatana. And how do we finish? Hashatacha abde lishana baban ade Israel bene horim. What do we say? That this year we are going to experience the concept of freedom. What does it mean? That Pesach is the idea of feeling the freedom. No pressure, enjoying, celebrating, recounting the miracles. And guess what? As our rabbis tell us, the more a person reminds themselves of the miracles of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the more miracles Hashem does for the person. Good morning. So Be'ezat Hashem, my dear Kahal Kadosh, I'll stop the class now. Baruch Hashem, I think that we covered a lot of spiritual ground for the Seder of Pesach. We'll see each other live and audio tonight at approximately 8:10, give or take a few moments. Our technical department will be setting up early enough for everybody to be able to watch it live. And Be'ezat Hashem, it should be a good class, and it help us, God willing, to observe Pesach in the most beautiful and in the more enhanced manner. Shavua Tov Mevorach. One more time, the email address for questions. rabbi@ejsfl.com. I repeat, Rabbi, R-E as Edward, J as Joseph, S as in Sam, F as in Florida, L as Lulav.com. For those who get my WhatsApp, feel free to PM me the questions, and Be'ezat Hashem will attempt to answer as much as we can today. Pardon? Hashlech al Hashem Yovcha behu yechalkeleka. David HaMelech writes in the book of Tehillim, cast upon God your burden, and He will take care of you. Beautiful. Have a great day, Rabotai.